Welcome to the program. I'm Mark Imperial. This segment's being brought to you by booksgrowbusiness.com. It's the place where busy professionals get their books done to educate consumers, grow their businesses, and to leave a legacy. I'm doing a series of spotlights on remarkable business intermediaries and exit planning advisors from across the country. And joining me on this segment is Dan Paxton. He's the co-founder of Exit Smarts. Dan, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Mark. Great to be here.
Dan, tell us a little bit about your work there at Exit Smarts, and tell us specifically who are the types of clients that you really focus on helping?
Okay. That's a great question. Kind of preface it with, so Exit Smarts is a system that we built over a couple of years and tested over a couple of years to help business owners transition, whatever that means. It doesn't necessarily have to mean transitioning out of the business. Some transitions are just to make a business more valuable, better, easier, more efficient, more profitable. But so we developed a system, Mark, that is really front to back. It helps business owners both develop a transition plan, and then secondly, and probably most importantly, to implement that plan. So along the process of doing that, in developing it, we talked with literally hundreds of advisors who all wanted to participate in this space as well, actually became accredited to do it, but kind of ended all in the same place of there's really been no defined process out there of how do you do transition planning with a business owner. We spent a lot of time developing that. And in the end, while we work directly with business owners, the way we really get to them now is because we help these other advisors do what it is they want to do. So in the transition planning space, it's multi-advisor. It's considered to be multi-advisor because you need some tax people, accounting people, insurance, you need a lot of different people, and no one person does it all. So we work with those individuals to help them, give them process for what they do, help them do it better, or help them to do it in the first place, and then we wrap around them so that with our help, they immediately are in business sort of overnight. So we do.
One of the inspirations of this whole series was the lack of information or misinformation that's been floating around out there. Let's talk about the business owners that you serve with these advisors. They're great at growing a business, starting a business, maybe running the daily operations. Is exit planning or what to do when they sell a business, is this top of mind? What is really on their mind when you first hear from them?
It is not on their mind at all. It is amazing. Business owners are great entrepreneurs, and it's really, you can't blame them. They've built great businesses and making lots of money, probably working, more than they might like to. But what they do, we kind of term as they spend all their time working on, in the business and never time working on it. So the concept of transition is foreign to most. People, something usually happens in their life. We refer to as a triggering event. Something happens that, and often it could be something bad health. All of a sudden you go, whoa, I got to get out of this business. I got to transition. But people do not spend time thinking about it. When we introduce it, some of the pure facts of the transition world, of the business transition world, are what wake people up. And probably the single biggest one, Mark, is that of all the businesses that historically have come on the market for sale, only about 20% of them have successfully transferred. That's kind of scary. So we help people not be in the 80%.
Let's talk about that for a moment. What causes the 80% to go on unsold? Where's the breakdown that you find most common?
First and foremost, everybody always waits too long. People have a big misconception that the bottom line is the most important part of selling a business, and it's really not. It's the other values of the business that are referred to sort of as the intangibles that really create maybe 2/3 to 75% of the business. People don't focus on that. They don't think about it. So in the end, they come up all of a sudden going, I want to get out in the next year or so. And there's no time to prepare the business to to do that. So a lot of these businesses just end up in either a planned or an unplanned liquidation, leaving a lot of money on the table. So just simply lack of taking time to think about the fact that sometime I need to or want to do something other than this business.
You really shined a light on something important, that sometimes sales of a business come out of an emergency. So that almost implies that people should be having a plan in place almost when they start the business. Is that fair? Or when, how early is too early to begin exit planning a business?
It is never too early. There's an entire book written by one of the gurus in our industry that says that the time to start planning for your transition is when you start planning for your business to begin with. So it's just never too early. And it's amazing, the things that do give a business value are things that a lot of business owners don't think of, and they truly should have early on. So it's never too early. And in fact, the opposite is what happens, is that most of the people start too late.
We're coming out of a pandemic now, and people are wondering, is this a good time to sell? What have you seen in your experience in the marketplace on the sellability of businesses and the values they're getting?
So it's not so much. That's a really complex question. There's a lot to unpeel there. So first, start with, there's a ton of money. There's more money available. Private equity has more money than they've ever had, and so there's a lot of money there. A lot of business owners, so about 2/3 of all the privately owned businesses in the U.S. market are owned by boomers, who, for all kinds of reasons, it's old. It's time to get out. I'm one of them, so I can kind of refer to us as old. So it's time to move on. And now these people, if they had their business, through the 2008-9 depression or recession, I guess, and then this COVID thing, more of them are now saying, I don't want to keep doing this. I've dodged a couple bullets. I want to get out. So there clearly, I haven't personally seen it, but the industry talks about a more heightened awareness by business owners that they want to get out, not an increase in knowledge of how they get out, just an increase in we do want to get out. I suspect it was already, even pre-pandemic, the data showed that of all those boomers owning all the businesses, that like 75% of them had stated that they want to be out in the decade of the 20s. They wanted out anyway. So then add this to it and even increase it. So this mass exodus, we often refer to it as a tsunami, this mass exodus right now in this next decade, combined with the historic fact that businesses haven't successfully sell, pretty tough. There's a lot of tough messages there. So people are just assimilating all that together. And I suspect that we're very soon going to see more business owners coming into wanting to do this because of kind of I don't know if it's a new awareness, not of what they need to do, just awareness that I just don't want to keep doing this. I need a plan.
Dan, you mentioned working with helping advisors and other professionals that are needed throughout this process, like the CPAs, the attorneys, the accountants. It sounds to me like without sort of a system that you've created at Exit Smarts or guidance, what did they do before that? Did their advice kind of like counteract each other? Give us a picture of what that might look like without following a plan.
So you nailed what's probably my favorite subject about kind of what's going on in the industry. So if you just dissect the industry for a second, the people who have it. So when you talk about a lawyer, an accountant, a broker of any kind, you're talking about people who are in silos. They do their thing. And that's kind of how you ask the question. Well, for the great big businesses, the M&A and the private equity folks, they have their act together. They do everything that's needed to help those businesses sell. But that's the biggest businesses. 95% of all businesses are like 20 million and down, and they have nobody to help them. So these people out there in their silos are unable to, they can talk about one aspect of it, but that's not what the business owner needs. The business owner needs to connect it all. So an important part of the process that we develop, Mark, is for an advisor to be a coach. So that coach is someone who helps the business owner. It's the business owner's wingman or wingwoman, and takes the business owner through all the pieces of the process because they understand all the questions, they understand the processes. Absent that, and it's still the huge void, the business owner is left with having to go find these advisors on by his or herself. And that's really, really tough. So developing a process, just a coaching process, is huge. And we find that of the advisors that come across us that we're interacting with, they're so excited to finally have a process because most of them really want to be the coach to their existing clients.
I could see the strength of having everybody on the same page, following the same playbook. Dan, what inspired you to get into this field? Like, how did you get started in exit planning?
Well, I actually, it's really an interesting story. It's very honest. I was an implementer of the Entrepreneurial Operating System, or EOS traction, as a lot of people know it. And I've had business owner clients start talking about exiting. And I realized that, wow, that's important. And what we had been focusing on was we always said what we focused on was helping business owners get what it is that they want. Well, when you ask a business owner, what do you want? Everybody answers the same thing. I want a bigger business. I want a more profitable business. And that's really just one part of the whole answer. I heard people asking this question and I thought, wow, these folks need help and I'm not giving them the kind of help that they need. So I was actually invited into a network to help because basically the part that I was really doing, the part that I really brought to the table at the time was value building. That's what we do. So value building is always a big part of transition planning. But so I was invited to be the value builder in a network that someone was trying to put together, struggling because they had no coaches. And at the time, back then, I didn't even realize what was missing. I had to kind of learn that through hard knocks. But I saw, as I started to study a little bit, I saw an opportunity. I saw a need that was so just huge, an industry that is still, in my mind, infant in its stage. We are so infant because we don't have enough processes, enough coaches, for all those businesses needed. So I'm pretty passionate about it because I know from my value building days, I know how I can help businesses build value. And now when we start from this perspective of, hey, business owner, what do you want out of life? That's not what I was asking before. What do you want? And then why do you want that? Helping them focus on that. So in transition planning, we call it the three legs of the stool. We need to bring together your personal, your financial, and your business all together. That's how we make a transition plan. Previously, I was just focusing on the business leg. So, and when you build a business to be a big business without what that's going to mean to you personally in your life, then you're kind of flapping in the wind out there and things aren't put together. So I'm very, very excited. You can probably tell as I talk about, very excited to be doing what I'm doing now because there's such a big need and I know how much we can help.
Dan, for business owners listening that resonate with your message and they realize I need to get this in order, even if I'm not considering selling right away, and if they'd like to speak with you, how do they find you, connect with you, and learn more?
Well, lots of ways. I'm not sure if they get any information from here, but our website, pretty easy to remember the name. It's Exit Smart. So exitsmarts.com. On our website, you find all of our contact information. We love talking with business owners. So that would probably be the easiest way for someone just to remember exitsmarts.com, and you can reach out to us, connect to us through there.
Dan, this has been absolutely terrific. I really appreciate your insights. I appreciate you stopping by and sharing with my audience today. And I wish you continued success for you and for all of your advisors and clients.
Thank you so much, Mark. It was great talking with you.
That was Dan Paxton, co-founder of Exit Smarts. And this segment's been brought to you by booksgrowbusiness.com. It's the place where busy professionals get their books done to educate consumers, grow their businesses, and to leave a legacy. That's all for now. I'm Mark Imperial, and thanks for joining me.